Good morning, guys. Welcome to Brunch Break, episode 22. Today we're going to be talking about why you must make it work or you'll stay stuck where you are. So I want to share a story with you from a few years ago at the beginning of my lifestyle journey. So first off, let me introduce myself if you are new to my live show. My name is Bethany Steck-Janacek, also known as Mrs. Love Chard, and I am your host here for Brunch Break every single week, where I come here and share with you my 80-pound weight loss, my emotional eating journey, my journey to overcome depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, and everything that came along with an 80-pound weight loss journey on the whole food plant-based lifestyle. And I come here and share this with you because it changed my life so much, and I want to show others that they can reach success as well. So welcome to Brunch Break. So today we're going to be talking about why you must make it work or else you'll stay stuck. And I want to share a story. When we were living in Chicago a few years ago, and I started my weight loss journey, my transformation, I got a trainer that I worked with probably between 2 and 4 days a week. And his name was Keith, and he's amazing. He's one of my good friends to this day. And so I got this trainer to help me on the exercise portion of it, probably maybe 4 months after I decided to make the nutrition change. I knew I wanted to add exercise too. So I got this trainer, Keith, and he was so awesome. And one morning, we were going to run hills behind my house. There was this really beautiful forest preserve and this big hill in the middle of the forest preserve, and it was pretty steep. There was an amazing tree at the top of it and kind of like a lookout area of the whole preserve and the lake and the trails and all that. It was so cool. So we were going to run these hills, and I wake up, and this is like probably 4 or 5 months into my lifestyle change. So I was just getting into like working out at this point. And I hated working out. Oh man, I hated it. And so I wake up and it was raining. And I was like, yes. Oh, thank God I don't have to go run hills today. And so I get on my phone. I have this smile on my face. Like, I'm just going to go back to bed and it's going to be great. And so I text Keith and I'm like, dang it, it's raining. Shoot, right? We're going to have to reschedule. And he's like, what are you talking about? If it's raining, we're still training. See you at 8. And I'm like, what? We're still going? It's pouring, it was pouring rain. And it's raining today too. Which might be a sign that I need to get my butt outside and go run some hills. But he's like, no, we're still going. I'll see you at 8. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I get up, I get all my clothes on, and I meet Keith at the forest preserve. It's still pouring rain. And I sit in my car and, wait for him to get there. And he pulls up and pulls out his phone and looks over at me in the car and texts me. He's like, are you ready? And I'm like, are we going to wait for it to pass? And he was like, no, let's go. Leave your phone in the car. Let's go. And so we ran hills for, I don't know how long. It was a while, but running up a hill in the pouring rain is really, really hard. It's not just like taking a light jog outside in the sidewalk. And we ran hills for probably, I want to say probably an hour. Just up and down, up and down, up and down. And this hill's super steep, and so I'm slipping all the way down, and I'm full of mud. I'm soaking wet. And it was one of the funnest days that I've ever had. And I think a lot of that was because there was nothing in me, if it weren't for Keith, that would have got me to go run hills in the rain. Nothing. And so, but I had the funnest day that I've ever had. Training. One of the funnest. I mean, we had really fun training days, but one of the funnest days that I've ever had. And what I want to share with you is that it doesn't matter what is going on, we can still make things work. So even though it was raining, that wasn't an excuse to not get out and move. And it was a workout. I was sliding down these hills and climbing up them at some point. But super fun. And I was so proud of myself for getting out there and doing something that A, I didn't want to do. B, was really tough because at this point I was probably still, it definitely was still over 200 pounds, probably 210 or 215 maybe at this point. And so it was tough, to get myself up those hills, but I did it anyway, and Keith pushed me to do that. And so I'm here to push you today and say it doesn't matter how we need to make it work if there's an inconvenience, because look, life happens and there's going to be a ton of inconveniences. There's going to be a ton of, spur of the moment trips. There's going to be a ton of unexpected things happen, and we can't just fold when something happens. We have to keep pushing through, and we have to find a way to make it work. So another story, this is just from the other day. So it's period week for me. Well, it's almost over now, but a few days ago, and I typically have cramps, like the first day, I just eat some bananas and I'm usually good. And so this particular day I had some cramps. I don't want to take Tylenol or ibuprofen or anything, so I just ate some bananas and, drank some water and was toughing it out. And I really wanted chocolate. I really want, I'm talking sweet sugar chocolate. I really wanted chips. I really wanted some sort of this comfort junk food stuff. And instead of driving to the store and getting some junk food, because we don't keep eating that crap in the house, I decided to make my own version of whole food plant-based comfort food. I love chickpeas. I love sweet potatoes, and I love balsamic vinegar. And so I happen to have chickpeas made in the fridge from my Instapot. I happen to have baked potatoes made in the fridge that I had baked the day before, maybe a couple days before. And I had balsamic vinegar in the fridge. So I put those three suckers in a bowl, stirred it around, and that was part of my lunch. And then I made a smoothie that had fruit, bananas, spinach, and cacao powder to make it chocolate, cocoa flavor. And that was my lunch. My lunch was ready in 3 minutes. And so even though I had cramps, I didn't want to really make anything, I wanted to go get junk food, I really wanted to feed this, period cramping, girl who really wanted some comfort food in the form of junk food. And I made it work in another way that was still comforting and didn't add to my cramps, attribute to, poor health and eat refined sugar that would make me just want more and all that stuff. So I stayed away from that and I made it work with what I had. And there's so many different parts of this story that we can take from, but one of them is we have to prep and we have to take care of ourselves for our future selves. So there's so many times, this time, for example, I was like, yay, thank you 2 days ago, Bethany, for making these chickpeas and this sweet potato save me today when I wanted to go out and get junk food and, candy bars and who knows what else. Vegan ice cream, who knows what I was going to get. But the point is that 2 days ago prepped for this moment, and now I had whole food plant-based comfort food to go to while I was, feeling bloated and crampy on my period. So many times this happens. There are unexpected things that you could not even expect, some things to happen, and then they do, and then you're deer in the headlights, what do I do now? Because I haven't planned for this, and this is out of the ordinary, and I'll just, screw it, I'll just do whatever and eat whatever I want, and then I'll, start over on Monday or whatever. We can't have all of these starting over on Mondays. We can't have all of these, screw it, I'll just eat whatever. We have to plan ahead. We have to take life by the horns. I don't know if that's a phrase. Take life by the horns and make it work for the situation that you're in. Because if you don't make it work and you keep doing the same, going to junk food and making an excuse to do this and, but I'm tired and so I'm just going to, have 18, Dr. Peppers so that I get my energy. Or I have period cramps and so I'm just going to go eat a gallon of ice cream. There are so many things that are going to happen in our lives that are unexpected that we didn't plan for. And if we keep making excuses and filling those unexpected happenings with poor, shitty excuses that are detrimental to our health, we're gonna stay stuck. We're gonna stay where we are. And so to not stay where we are, we have to have game plans for what we for where we want to go. And so is the goal of what you want for your life, right? Maybe it's weight loss, maybe it's more energy. What do you want and why do you want it? Bring those things to the surface every single day, because when you bring those to the surface and you live those out and you're living out why you are eating a bowl of chickpeas with a sweet potato and not driving to the grocery store to get a bunch of chips and chocolate. If you know why you're eating a bowl of chickpeas and sweet potato over the junk food that you really want to get in that moment, and you know why you're doing it, those whys will help outpower those excuses. Because to me, when I'm sitting there like bloated and cramping on my period and I wanted to get like awful food, my why was I don't want to feel worse. I don't want to eat refined sugar and have my brain like go crazy and want more and set myself back. I don't want to get caught in that junk food trap, right? And I don't want to feel not only physically bad because I get headaches from refined sugar and I get even more bloated, right? I didn't want to mentally feel like I, wasn't strong enough to take a stand when I just had a couple period cramps. So in making the right, the more healthful, better decision in eating chickpeas and sweet potato and making a smoothie instead, I felt not only physically felt really good because I was feeding my body nutrients instead of like crap and refined sugar. Instead of doing that, I felt so much better mentally as well, so that I could continue to like crush life and reach my goals. So we have to have game plans for situations that we don't necessarily expect. And so what I want to share with you now is, I was going to share with you my top 10. Well, I'll still share with you my top 10. So if you head to lovechard.com/top 10, the number 10, you can get my top 10 foods that I always have in my house. And these are some of my favorite things. These are whole food options, and I use these things every single week. So head to lovechard.com/top 10. And then also, if you are having emotional eating problems, food addiction, and want to create some of those game plans for situations that are unexpected, so you have a game plan when it does happen, head to lovechard.com/EE workbook for emotional eating workbook. And in that is a five-page, 5-question workbook with a game plan action step at the end for you to create those game plans for situations like this. So for example, I would create when I'm bloated and cranky on my period and I want chocolate and chips, then I'm going to turn to X, Y, and Z instead, or I'm going to make this instead. So I'll put those links below too. And if you are wanting more personal support, more guidance, more tools, more videos, I know I do Brunch Break every week, but in my membership site is like hundreds more training videos and discussion forums and recipes and all kinds of stuff. So if you are wanting more, head to NutriBabeNation.com, sign up for the monthly membership site, because that is where there are even more action steps, even more accountability, guidance, structured step-by-step tools for you to reach success. So that's at NutriBabeNation.com, our monthly membership site. If you have any questions, please shoot me a message. I'm an open book. I'll help you make the best decision possible for you and where you're at. And it's my job as your mentor and coach to meet you where you're at and help take you to where you want to go. So I'll put all those links in the comments below. What I'll actually do, since this is like 2 videos, I had to start a second one. I will put the link to the full video once we get it edited and uploaded. I'll put a link to the full video that you'll be able to see on our website. I'll put that link on both of the videos down below. I think that was all I wanted to share with you guys for today. So have a good rest of your day. I'll see you next Tuesday at 11 a.m. for Brunch Break, episode 23. And have a good week. Bye, guys.